A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. What is the first one here? Uttarakhand UCC. Governor returns bills citing technical flaws. There are two words I'm sure all of you know. One is citing. What is the other one? Flaws. CITE, cite means what? Quote. But when you see the word cite, you have to think of SITE, cite, SIGHT, cite, CITE, cite. SITE, cite means what? It goes with flawless English. Who is this? I do. That's right. CITE, cite means what? Quote. And SITE, cite goes with a plot. SIGHT goes with your vision. All the three you have to recollect. And we have this word flaw. Flaw means a mistake. I always tell students, when it comes to English, you have to speak flawless English. For that, we also say impeccable English. Impeccable English, flawless English, without any mistakes. Those words you have to think of. Coming to the next one, Putin's poser will expand territorial gains if talks on Ukraine fail. So he wants to expand territorial gains, means in a way annexation, and he wants to occupy if talks on Ukraine fail. Coming to the next one, contaminated transfusion. You all know blood transfusion and here contamination. When you see the word contamination, you have to think of another word. What is that one? Adulteration. What is the meaning of adulteration? What is the meaning of adulteration? Very good. Adulterate. Adulterate means to make something impure. Adulteration means making something impure. Contamination. But contamination goes with a different context. Adulteration goes more with food industry. Context is very important. Committee to probe HIV infection in MP. There's one word, committee. We have got these many a time. What does it mean? Why should you focus on the word committee? Committee is a collective noun. What are the important examples? Committee, jury, staff, team, all these come under, that's right, MP, an MP. But here it talks about the state, Madhya Pradesh. Coming to member of parliament, definitely, that must have come to your mind. Coming to the word committee, a collective noun, what is the rule you have to think of? Collective nouns usually take a singular verb, a singular pronoun. But if the sentence denotes division, same collective noun takes a plural verb, a plural pronoun. That you have to recollect. You all know probe. Probe means what? Investigate. Probing nature. Some people try to find out what is happening in others' lives. Then we say probing nature, which is not a good idea. Coming to the next one, focus on migration. What is the meaning of migration? Move from one place to another place. Man initially did not have a settled life. Man, typical primitive man would move from one place to another place. For that we have one word. What is that word? Nomadic. Have you heard of this word any time? Nomadic means what? Moving from one place to another place. Migrate from one place to another place. But now our students know when you see the word migration, exodus, political turmoil, refugees, asylum, immigration, emigration, diaspora, persecution, prejudice, bias, all these words you have at your fingertips. Story of we the moving people. Moving people, here moving people means what? Those who are migrating. He is now challenging idea of birthright citizenship. You have to read the article. I guess it is about Indians in the US or others in the US, and based on birthright, others moving out, moving in, something related to that. An important article, better you read that one. Coming to the next snippet, you can make out cricket fighting back. Carey and Kawaja prop up Australia. Means in a way they have taken it to a different level, and better performance perhaps. You have to read to understand what exactly they have done, how they have played, but definitely something positive. Coming to the main headline, Lok Sabha clears nuclear bill allowing privatization. This was yesterday's editorial. If you guys, why vagabond here? Vagabond has a negative connotation. Naidu. You can think of that word, but vagabond is a person who roams or wanders without any purpose, without any aim. We use two expressions. One is road Romeo. Have you heard of that? Road Romeo. The other one is vagabond. Two are related. But migration goes with a different context altogether. Simple words, but I did the editorial yesterday. Myanmar Janta says Suu Kyi is in good health. Janta, military rule, we use that word, in good health. The opposition leader, once she was in power. Muslim localities better mapped in SIR, says study. It goes with SIR. You all know I've done a few editorials, and controversial. It is related to that. Muslim localities, when you see the word locality, usually we follow British English and we use words like locality, colony, residential area. But if you take Americans, they don't use these words. They use the word neighborhood. Neighborhood is American. Military coup also you can recollect. Neighborhood, American, colony, residential areas, localities, British. Coming to the word neighborhood, if you go to the US, certain neighborhoods are backward. For those we use the word ghettos. Have you heard of this any time? Ghettos, we also say rundown areas. Have you guys heard of these two? Backward neighborhoods, we use ghettos, one word. Another one, rundown areas, means backward. Coming to the other snippet, Economist backs simultaneous polls, flags issues. Flag we have got many a time. What does it mean? It means mark. Flag means what? Mark. Ghettos not possible. Usually Americans, those who are exposed to American lifestyle, know something about America, the USA. They know the words like ghettos, rundown areas. Flag mark you all know. Pilot bodies flag corruption in DGCA ministry. Oh, this is very surprising. Pilot bodies, pilot organization flag mark corruption in DGCA ministry. It seems they are accusing allegations against DGCA and the ministry, aviation. Corruption is there. When you see the word corruption, you have to think of the word rampant. What is the meaning of rampant? Corruption is rampant, means widespread. And you should also think of the word grafting charges related to corruption. Those two words are very important. Coming to the pic, you can see a woman, could be the mother. Strength in stride. There's one important word. Make strides means progress. Stride means a step. One meaning, step. And make strides, something is making strides means doing well, progressing. What does it say? Carrying hope. A tribal woman gives her son a piggyback ride. An important expression you have to remember. A piggyback ride atop a load of ration rice near Gauhati on Wednesday. You all know the expression piggyback ride. It goes with everyday English. Coming to the next one, India reminds Bangladesh of security pledges amid march on Dhaka mission. One is pledges, you all know, oath, pledge, related words, and amidst, in the middle of, both mean the same, march on Dhaka mission. When you see the word mission, you have to think of one word, abort. Mission aborted means what? Leave abruptly, cancel. And when you see the word, you can see all these are protesters, placards. You have to think of words like procession, protest, procession, placards, slogans, crowd, unruly crowd, run helter-skelter, all these. When the crowd, things go out of control, they try to attack the shops. Then we use the word loot, L-O-O-T. Mission accomplished also, positive, very good. James Bond movies. You are telling me what I have said, very good. In a way, reminding me. Coming to the last one from today's The Hindu paper. US labels Venezuela's government a terrorist regime. Orders blockade of sanctioned oil tanker traffic. Regime has two different meanings. What is one meaning? Current government, we use the word regime. What is the other one? Regime means a system. Tax regime, GST regime. What do they mean? Systems. Coming to the other one, sanction can be a positive word, can be a negative word. In this context, it's a negative word. The center has sanctioned the funds, positive. But the government or the country, a particular country has imposed sanctions against some other country, negative. It means something like restrictions. In English, that is a problem. What is a problem? Same word can have a positive connotation, a negative connotation. If you take stem, stem can be a noun, can be a verb. And you all know stem, plants, stem, neutral word as a noun. But when it comes to stem as a verb, one meaning stem means to come out of, to originate, positive. Another stem means control, curb, restrict. Two different curb, very good. Who is this? Somu, very good, I appreciate. That is the exact word. And also weed, dust, Naidu, wonderful. And two more examples you have to recollect. Dust, there's a lot of dust on the bench, negative. I dusted the bench, positive. Same way, weed. A lot of weeds in the garden, negative. I weeded the garden, positive. All these you have to have at your fingertips. That's all from the front page of today's Hindu paper. Let us go to today's editorial. There are 20 plus words. How many words? 20 plus. A lot to learn and an important topic too. Some are familiar. What is the first one here? Tackle. Tackle, part of speech verb, goes with a problem. We use the word tackle, meaning to make a serious attempt to deal with or solve a problem. Tackle the problem, deal with the problem. You all know that. It also goes with a person. Imagine there's a tough guy. Then we say it is not easy to tackle that guy, deal with that guy. Follow out an important word. It could be a phrasal verb as well, but here noun. And all of you should know we use phrasal verbs sometimes as nouns. For example, when I say break down, it has many meanings. A typical meaning, stop working or functioning. What are the typical examples, combinations? Vehicles, power, systems, machinery. And the power broke down yesterday. I've used a phrasal verb. There was a power breakdown yesterday. Here it has been used as a noun. Power breakdown. Fallout, end a relationship. Yes, that is true. Who is this? Lucky. Fallout, the negative consequences or after effects of an event or situation. Consequences, fallout of something, dire consequences. That's also very good, aspirant, I appreciate. But when you use the word dire, you have to recollect, he is in dire straits. Have you heard of this any time? Dire straits. Face the music also you can say. What is the meaning of he is in dire straits? Means in a miserable condition, in a bad situation. That's an important idiom you have to know. Consequences or after effects of an event or situation. Event usually negative. Fog, simple word, a thick cloud of tiny water droplets near the ground that reduces visibility. But here you have to recollect another word. What is that word? Mist. And also, I'm sure all of you know, every time we think of those words, what are those words? Mist and smog. Coming to kickstart, an important word. Part of speech verb, to initiate or stimulate the beginning of a process or activity. Simple word, initiate. Initiate or start something, kickstart. Better way of expressing the same thing. Lay bare, very important. Have you heard of this any time? Lay bare, very important. Part of speech, phrasal verb, to expose or reveal something clearly, especially an underlying problem. Something becomes public, something made public, then we use this. But to make public, you have to think of words like reveal, disclose, divulge, unveil, all these words. Coming to spike, it can be a noun, it can be a verb. And kick off also you can think of, very good. And when it comes to spike as a verb, means to increase. It can be a noun, it can be a verb. Noun, a sudden sharp increase, a verb, to rise abruptly. We can also think of the word surge. Surge has two different meanings. One meaning, it means sudden increase, sudden rise. But another meaning, sudden forward movement. That also you have to know. Swathes, very important word. Plural, noun, large areas or wide ranges of something. Large open areas, we use the word swathes, important word. You all know the word mushroom. But what is the meaning of mushroom? Growth, proliferation, sudden increase in number, we use mushrooming. Adjective, present participle. Growing or increasing rapidly, uncontrollable. Okay. Paranoid. What is the meaning? Some people always fear something or other. Then we use the word paranoid. Paranoid is an important word. You guys have to know. Panic, a simple word. Paranoid, a better word. Coming to the next, besiege. We have got many a time. Part of speech verb. To surround and overwhelm with persistent problems or pressures. Besieged by problems, besieged by hardships. These are the combinations you have to think of. Coming to the next one, catastrophe. We have got many a time. Disaster, mishap, unfortunate incident. Noun, a sudden disaster causing widespread damage or loss. Widespread damage, we also use a wreak havoc, an important idiomatic expression, a wreak havoc. You have to recollect. Coming to the next one, inferno, part of speech noun, a large destructive fire. What is a phrasal verb that goes with fire? Break out. A fire broke out in the city last night, means started suddenly. Disarray, an important word, part of speech noun, a state of disorder or confusion. Something is not in order, we use disarray. Imagine something is in order, then we use the idiom apple pie order. And also spick and span, these two you have to recollect. Plummet, we have got many a time, part of speech verb, to fall or decrease rapidly and steeply. We also think of plunge, plummet, nosedive, all these expressions you have to think of. Ply, it goes with buses. Buses are plying or not plying? Imagine there's a strike. Then we ask, are the buses plying? Part of speech verb. To travel or operate regularly on a route. And do remember it goes with buses. Vacuous, part of speech adjective. I am sure all of you know vacuum. Remember vacuum, vacuous. But what is the meaning? Lacking substance, intelligence, or meaningful content. Comply, our students know, comply with means what? To follow. Rules and regulations, part of speech verb, to act in accordance with rules, orders, or requests. We have got many a time. Unabated, part of speech adjective, continuing without any reduction in intensity. Usually it goes with rains. Unabated rains means continuous. Spate of, noun phrase, a large number of similar events occurring in quick succession. Series of events you can think, spate of. Regurgitate, part of speech verb, to repeat ideas or information without understanding or without originality. Someone repeats, we use this word, rarely used. Exhortations, part of speech noun, strong urgings or appeals to act in a particular way. Simple word is urge, urge someone. Coming to, that's all, the last one. Heed means to listen to, pay attention. Unheeded, opposite, adjective, ignored or not paid attention to. Pay attention, heed, not pay attention, unheed. That's all about vocabulary part, editorial vocabulary. Let us go to the editorial. Today's editorial is all about, it is related to air pollution in not only in Delhi but other states as well. How does it start? Rear guard action on weather change and consistent action. Delaying action, we say rear guard action. Someone delays action, then we use this expression rear guard action. And based on that, on weather change and consistent action. What is the main idea? India needs year-round action to tackle fallout of change in weather. Consequences of change in weather. For that, India needs what? Year-round action. This is a stand taken by the editorial. The fog season has commenced in India. We all know actually there are 4 seasons. What are the 4 seasons? Summer, winter, harsh, spring, autumn, beautiful. But we have created 2 more seasons. This is the 6th one. Usually I tell students the 5th one we have created rainy season because India experiences monsoon every year. Rainy season, 5th one. The 6th one, fog season, I've come across for the first time. The fog season has commenced in India, present perfect active voice, kick-starting the annual cycle of adversity, accidents and chaos in northern India. Kick-starting, initiating, series of negative incidents. Kick-starting what? The annual cycle of adversity. Adversity means negative, adverse conditions, negative conditions, accidents and chaos in North India. We have got the word chaos many a time. Total confusion, we use chaos. The spike in particulate matter, spike here means what? Increase. In particulate matter, pollution, after monsoon winds and how it lays bare makes public. The year-round unmitigated pollution. Mitigate, reduce, unmitigated, not controlled. Year-round unmitigated pollution. Now characteristic of not only Delhi, its surrounding capital regions and vast swathes of the Indo-Gangetic plains, but increasingly even Mumbai, Kolkata and mushrooming urban clusters is well known. A lengthy sentence, but what does it mean? All these days, people have been thinking fog problem only restricted to Delhi and the capital region. But this sentence says now it has expanded. Bombay, Kolkata and other urban centers, even they started experiencing this problem. The spike in particulate matter pollution after monsoon winds and how it lays bare the year-round unmitigated pollution, now characteristic of not only Delhi, its surrounding capital regions and vast swathes of the Indo-Gangetic plains, but increasingly even in Mumbai, Kolkata and mushrooming urban clusters. This spike is well known. See, where is the subject, the spike, all these add-on information, the spike is well known. The verb is there. Fog, which results from the fall in temperatures and an accumulation of moisture close to the ground, is also accompanied by air quality deteriorating, I suppose. It results in something. The air quality index AQI that anyway hovers in the danger zones of 300 to 400 or very poor air breaks through into the worst categories of severe and severe plus, that means 400 plus, triggering extended waves of panic among citizens already besieged by poor quality air. It talks about the air quality index, how much is acceptable, how much is dangerous, and what is beyond the dangerous level. Danger zones 300 to 400, very poor air. Breaks through into the worst categories, means enters the worst categories of severe and severe plus, that means 400 plus. Based on that, triggering extended waves of panic among citizens already besieged by poor quality air, surrounded by poor quality air. Fog does not necessarily increase the toxicity of the air. It may not increase the toxicity. Toxic means what? Harmful. Toxic fumes, toxic gases, which is anyway beyond permissible limits, but brings in additional catastrophes from poor visibility. As such, it may not be toxic, but because of that something goes wrong. Related adversities, they come into picture. Additional catastrophes from poor visibility. So much of fog, visibility gets affected. Poor visibility, obviously accidents likely to happen. So far, and to substantiate this, so far at least 25 people have been killed. Present perfect passive voice, and 59 injured in fog-linked road accidents across Uttar Pradesh, with the worst tragedy unfolding on the Yamuna Expressway in Mathura, where a multi-vehicle pileup turned into an inferno. There's a recent one based on that, the editorial. And many vehicles, when thick fog is there, people, poor visibility, one vehicle rams into another, then a lot of vehicles, same thing happens, then they get piled up. This sentence talks about that. A multi-vehicle pileup turned into an inferno, fire accident. And what is the impact of this fog? Airline operations are in disarray, not in order. In Delhi, as 228 flights, including 131 departures and 97 arrivals, were cancelled. Past tense, passive voice. And hundreds delayed on Monday. They cancelled something, something was cancelled. What does the second part talk about? The plummeting, going down, nose diving. Air quality index saw emergency level restrictions called GRAP4 come into effect in Delhi. Based on the plummeting air quality, obviously they wanted to do something. and they brought in what? Saw emergency level restrictions called GRAP 4 come into effect in Delhi. What does it mean? It bans construction and demolition activities, pushes schools online, and restricts the kinds of vehicles that can ply. Actions, all these. One, stopping construction and demolition activities. Second, schools holidays but they work online. Third, restricts the kinds of vehicles that can ply. Which vehicles can ply, which vehicles cannot ply. Ply means to move on a regular route. On top of this, the Delhi government delivered a vacuous threat. On top of this, the Delhi government delivered a vacuous threat that vehicles without a pollution under control certificate would be denied fuel at refueling stations. All these are measures to mitigate. And those that did not comply with Bharat Stage 6 emission norms would be barred from entering city limits. They have to comply with something. If they don't comply with, they will not be allowed to enter the city limits. This does not account for the fact that it is the residual emissions that are unabated in the capital region, trapped by moisture, that depresses the index. It has been there all the time, but because of moisture, based on the season, it becomes visible. The centre announces a spate of meetings that do little. A spate of meetings means what? Series of meetings that do little means hardly anything, almost nothing, negative connotation, other than regurgitate exhortations. These words, not regular words, formal, rarely used, that are unheeded, means what? Not listened to. This is a time that the Commission for Air Quality Management, an empowered body, must stress its independence. Here the writer takes a stand, personal obligation imposed by the writer or the editorial, and take year-round action to ensure that whatever the weather, Delhi's AQI stays below 350. In a way, suggestion, you can say that also. That's all about this editorial, not too lengthy, short editorial, but important, based on fog, smog, air pollution, air quality index, very important. The primary purpose of the passage is to highlight the scientific causes of fog formation in northern India, emphasize the economic losses caused by flight cancellations, criticize a reactive and inconsistent approach to air pollution management. Rearguard reaction. Answer is C. Which of the following can be reasonably inferred from the passage? Fog is the primary cause of rising air pollution levels. GRAP4 measures permanently reduce air pollution. Seasonal weather changes expose existing governance failures. Season brings some problem into the limelight. The problem has been there for quite some time. Answer is C. The author's attitude towards the Delhi government's announcements can best be described as supportive and optimistic, neutral and factual, cautiously approving, skeptical and dismissive. Answer should be doubtful, skeptical and dismissive. Alarmist and exaggerated we cannot use. According to the passage, fog aggravates the crisis primarily by aggravate, exacerbate, make something worse, increasing the chemical toxicity of pollutants, encouraging illegal construction activities, reducing visibility and causing secondary disasters. That is the problem with fog. It causes secondary disasters like accidents, piling up of vehicles. This is the reason. Which of the following best describes the overall tone of the passage? Passage talks about air quality index, fog, air pollution, failure of governance, all these. Analytical and detached, you cannot use. Pessimistic and resigned, then no point in writing. Critical and urgent, not satirical, not technical. Critical, criticizing, and something urgent. They have to do something immediately. Answer should be that one. Coming to exam topics based on, coming to questions based on exam topics. First one, error location. The Shanti Bill proposes to allow licensed non-government entities to operate civil nuclear facilities, but also ensuring, here proposes to allow licensed non-government entities to operate civil nuclear facilities, but also, you cannot use the verb in ing form, but also ensures, proposes, ensures. Parallel expression, you cannot use a verb form ing. Proposes, ensures, but also ensures that sensitive fuel cycles remain under state control. Pillars allowing private participation in plant delivery could construction risk while keeping proliferation sensitive activities firmly with the state. Something positive could exacerbate negative. Centralize, not centralized, then they cannot bring in private players. Distribute construction risk. Negate means block something, say no. So many meanings are there. Absolve, exonerate, stop blaming, free from blame, not relevant here. The capped operator liability may ease investment pricing, but raises concerns about adequate victim compensation and environmental. Yesterday's editorial, 3,000 crore not enough to compensate victims, and also environmental damage, they have to do something. Dilution, no. Restitution means bringing back the original thing or compensating, doing something for the damage. Proliferation, multiplying, insulation, no. So what is it? B is the answer. Which sentence uses recourse correctly? The operator recourse, the supplier, doesn't make any sense. Investors demand recourse the regulator immediately. Victims have limited legal recourse under the liability framework. The law recourse policy is not correct. What is the answer here? C is the answer. Choose a sentence where conducive is used most appropriately. Conducive atmosphere means what? Positive, something that helps in development. The regulator conducive doesn't make any sense. A lack of independence is not conducive to public trust. Conducive reforms, environment was conducive by the center, conducive to the policy, they don't make any sense. What is the answer? A lack of independence is not conducive to public trust. Choose the correct connector to complete the sentence. The Shanti Bill expands the pool of nuclear operators, expands, restricts. Based on that, you have to decide a contrasting word. Because, reason, unless, condition, so that, purpose, despite, contrast. But between despite and whereas, better word is what? It expands something, whereas it restricts private access to sensitive fuel cycles. Answer is B. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. Thank you.